Renters, think your lease ends if your landlord sells the property? This is not true. I'm Lila with the tenant team. Let's talk about how this affects your existing lease and when you have to move. In California, the sale does not terminate your lease. If the property is sold, the new owner must honor your existing lease terms. These are things like rent and the duration of your lease. In other words, change in ownership does not change your lease, so you have the right to stay until your lease ends, unless your lease has a specific clause that allows for early termination. Then you could be asked to leave before your lease ends, but the tenant should still be given a proper notice to vacate the unit. If they've been renting for a year, they have to be given a 60-day notice. Otherwise, they can just be given a 30-day notice. If the buyer wants to live in the property, they can ask the tenant to leave. But still, they have to give an appropriate notice period. Let's talk about showing the unit. Tenants still have the right to privacy, so if a landlord wants to show a unit, they have to give the tenant a reasonable notice. In California, this is typically 24 hours. Here are some best practices you can do to protect your rights when your landlord is selling. Stay in touch with your landlord about the sale so you're on top of any changes. Save copies of your lease agreement, rent receipts, and all communications. And if you meet the new owner, make sure your lease is honored. And if any issues do arise, seek legal help or assistance from a tenant organization. For more tips like this, follow the tenant team.